Good morning. This is for Thursday. This is our social studies, and this is our last social studies of the week. You heard that right. Today is Thursday. We're going to have social studies today. A couple bonuses. Number one, no assignment for today, but I am asking you to go through this video. The point is just to learn. This is such a neat, important week with the election week that only happens every 4 years for the presidential elections. So that's why we're kind of taking a break from our normally scheduled stuff. And no assignment today, and nothing with social studies for tomorrow to make Friday a little bit easier for you. But I want to talk to you about how to become president of the United States of America. Well, believe it or not, there are certain rules to become president of the United States of America. And no, you don't have to be a lifetime politician. You don't have to have a college degree. Those aren't any of the requirements. But the Constitution of the United States does have certain specific things that you do have to follow to become president of the United States. Rule number one, you have to be at least, you have to be at least, that just killed the suspense, huh? I forgot I put this slide in here about what we're going to learn today. What does it take to become the president of the United States? Well, you have to be at least 35 years old. You have to be at least 35. So for you guys that are saying, I'm going to be president next election in 4 years, so if I'm 9 now, I'll be 13 then, I'm going to run for president. Sorry, you can't. It has to be 35 years old. When you're 35, you absolutely can. And again, this is one of the requirements. Another one of the requirements in the Constitution, you have to be a natural-born citizen, which means, really, you had to be born in the United States of America, or one of our territories. So if you're born in Arizona, good. Born in New York, good. Born in California, good. Born in Brazil, gonna have some challenges. If you might know Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was a really strong guy. He was an actor. He was born in Austria, I do believe. He became governor of California, and he cannot become president of the United States. No matter how hard he tries, no matter how much he wants it, he can't because he was born not in the United States. Now, if you're born in the United States and you maybe move away, let's say, you move to, Japan for a lot of years. That's fine, but as long as when you come back to live in the United States, you have to live back in the United States for at least 14 years. So let's say you're 10 years old and you move to Japan and you got a good job there. You're living there. Your mommy, your daddy, auntie has a job there and you move with them, whatever. And you stay there for 20 years, right? So you're 30 then. You move back to the United States and you're 30 years old. You actually have to wait until you are at least 44 years old until you can run for president, because you have lived out of the United States for that long. Again, you have to live back here for 14 years. So, in short, these are the three big ones here. Again, born in the United States, at least 35 years old, and have to live in the United States for at least the last 14 years before you run for president. Now, this is kind of where the road to being president gets a little bit confusing. We have what's called the caucus. Now, this is, in 2020, what was going on earlier this calendar year. I'm talking like January, February, March, things like this. We had what's called the caucuses. We know that President Donald Trump was running for the Republicans. Well, the Democrats didn't know who their presidential nomination was going to be. Who's going to run for president for the Democratic Party? And so this is what happens. There's a bunch of people in that party that say, you know what, I want to run for president, and I want to run for president, and I want to run for president. And so they have all these caucuses, which basically is their way to prove, okay, this is what I'm running for, this is what I'm going to sign into law if I become president. Here's what I stand behind, here's what I like, here's what I don't like, here's what I'm going to keep, here's what I'm not going to keep or change in our country, so on and so forth. And throughout all these caucuses in all these different states, things can change a lot. If you take a look right here, early on, Joe Biden was not doing very well. But through all these different caucuses, he kind of moved up and other people kind of moved down. And after all these caucuses, we have what's called the primary. Now, this is where people just in that certain party, for earlier this year in 2020, it was a Democratic Party that was voting for who their guy or girl is, and this is where they choose. Remember, they have all these different caucuses where they have a lot of debates, and they have a lot of primary debates too, but the primary vote is just for that party, and that's where they pick the one person who's going to go for president. And of course, you might remember way back when, this is just for Maryland in June 2nd, Joe Biden won for the Democratic Party. Now, after that happens, if you remember, the reason they do this kind of in early summer is because, well, not quite summer, I guess late spring, early summer in this case, is because just like we had 2 days ago on Tuesday, November 3rd, that's election day. So you need that many months to, first of all, pick the one guy for your party who's running for president, and then for that person to go on the campaign trail, and it's really kicked off by something that's called a convention. What this is just kind of a big rallying party, so to speak. They have the main stage. They have other people get in the stage and talk about why they like this guy or why they like this girl, and this is what this person is going to do. This is why you should vote for him. Remember, they're not president yet, but they have this huge gathering, usually in huge giant stadiums, just to get people behind him and say, this is why you should vote for him. This is why we picked him for our party, so on and so forth. And then, of course, the final thing, as they do all that campaigning, as they do all these commercials, as they stop in all these places and give all these speeches, we have the general election, which you can see how it changes over the years. This is what we went through Monday and Tuesday, the Electoral College. This is how a president becomes president if they win over 270 Electoral College votes. Now you can see again what we learned yesterday, why your vote matters. Look at it, how the United States has changed over the years. Sometimes you see a good mix of blue and red. Sometimes it's very red. Sometimes it's very blue. But it can change an awful lot over the years and over the decades. I know this is 50, 60 years here. But this is how you become president. It all starts with following those first 3 rules. Got to be born in the United States, 35 years old, and live here for the last 14 years. Then you got to kind of battle against in the caucuses people in your own party and prove why you're the best bet. Then you get voted on in the primary, just people in your party vote for that. And then if you're the guy, then you got to convince the whole, America and all the voters in America about why you would be the best president. And so that's kind of what's all been going on this week and what's been leading up to this week, and especially a couple days ago on Tuesday. But I just want to again take a little time out from our normally scheduled things to kind of go through a bunch of political things, election things and things like that, because it's really been happening. I know you've been hearing a lot about it. I'm sure you've been hearing more about it. Yeah, that's kind of why. Kind of neat. It only happens once every 4 years. Hope you enjoyed it. No assignment for today. And additionally, we're not going to have any video and no assignment for social studies tomorrow. So I do wish you guys Lord's blessings today to praise your Savior.